Hello everyone, welcome to this video. So in this video we will learn about the internal architecture of 8051 ports. The 8051 has four bidirectional I/O ports P0, P1, P2 and P3. Each port is having 8 pins, or each port is capable to transfer and receive 8 bits of data. Those ports can be configured as an input port and output port depending on the situation, or depending on the devices you are connecting to those ports. They can be configured as an input or output port. So out of this 4 port, P1, P2 and P3, they have an internal pull-up register, so they don't require external pull-up register to be connected to that port, like which is there in port 0. So port 0 is not having any internal pull-up register, so external pull-up register of 10 kilo ohm is connected to this port. So because of this external pull-up register, P0 can derive the devices which are connected to that port. So port 0 is having 8 pins, P0.0 to P0.7. Basically it is used for as a IO port and used to carry lower address and data bus. Port 1 is only used to connect the devices. It is only used as a IO port. Whereas port 2 is having 8 pins, is used as an IO port. It is used to give higher address. Port 3 is again having 8 pins. It can be used as IO ports, and each pin of port 3 is having special function, which we have already seen in last video, the pin description of 8051. Let's move to the architecture of 8051 ports. So basically we will start with the port 1's architecture, because port 1 is not having any alternate function. Okay, its only function is as the IO port where devices are connected. So this is the structure of the port 1. The structure of the other ports is very similar to port 1, and other ports are having some additional circuitry according to their functions. So port 1 is a basic port which is used as the IO port. So this port is having 3 main components. At the center there is a latch, buffer and input driver. So any port can be configured as an input port or output port. To configure any port as an input port, we have to write 1, 2 to that port or any particular pin. Like suppose if I want to configure any particular pin as an input pin, I just need to write 1. Suppose to configure any port as an output port, we have to write logic 0 to that port or particular pin. So here what happens when we are configuring that port, by writing logic 1 to the input of D latch. So always remember, the output of the latch and the input pin, these two are separate things and can be accessed separately. So there are instructions in 8051 which are used to access pin and the latch. So there are instructions in 8051 which are used to access the data which is present on pin and the output of the latch. So when we give logic 1 to any particular pin, let's say the input of the D port, so output Q is 1 and Q bar is 0. So this 0 Q bar is connected to the gate of this transistor. This is FET. So this is the gate. This terminal is gate. So 0 is applied to this FET, and that's why it's off. It is switched off. That's why the port pin is connected to VCC and it is providing you 1. So when you write as logic 1 at the pin of the port, you will get a logic 1 as an output, and it is configured as an input port. So whatever data which is present on this pin will be given to the will be read by the 8051 microcontroller via this lower buffer. This is tri-state buffer 1, and there is a tri-state buffer 2. Tri-state buffer 1 is used to read the pin. It is used to read the data from the pin and is activated by the read pin control signal, which is internally generated by the microcontroller, whereas the output of the latch can be read using this buffer. So the output of the latch and the data present on pin can be separately accessed. So when we write 1, it is configured as the input port. So what happens when we write logic 0 to any pin of the port 1? So when we apply logic 0, so accordingly the Q is 0 and Q bar is 1, and that's why this FET is on. This switch. This FET is acting as a switch here, and that switch is on, and that's why this VCC is connected to the ground. So the voltage level at port pin is cooled down to 0, or you can say that particular pin is grounded, and that's why it is giving you logic 0. And in this way it is configured as the output port. Precautions we have to take. We know the port can be configured as an input port or output port. So input is basically used for reading the data from the port. Some devices which are connected on that port pin are sending the data, and microcontroller is supposed to read that data from the pin. Suppose what happens if you not configure that port pin or port as an input port and still you are trying to read the data. So what happens? Let's assume initially it is output configured, okay, by writing a 0. So accordingly the Q and Q bar will be 0 and 1 respectively, and this is on. So when this switch is on, VCC is connected to ground, okay, and whatever data which is present on this pin is also grounded, okay, because this is a short path. And what happened, there is a supply from two directions, one from VCC and a second from the pin, because obviously on the pin other device is connected and that device is supplying logic or supplying current. So both the currents are entered in this FET and it will damage this FET. So that precautions we have to take before reading the data from any port or any port pin. So port can be configured as an input or as an output in two ways. Suppose if you want to configure a port pin as an input port, you can simply write this instruction: set b port 1 dot port pin. So now here, using this instruction, I am configuring 0 pin of the port 1 as an input port. Suppose if you want to configure whole port as an input port, simply you have to use this instruction. You are writing FF H to the port 1, 8 bit of data at a time to port. All ones are sent to the port 1 and whole port is configured as the input port. When logic 1 is applied to the D input, Q and Q bar is 1 and 0 respectively. Because of this switch is off, because 0 is connected to gate of this FET. The switch is off. So since switch is off, the whatever data which is supplied by the external device will follow this path and will be stored in this tri-state buffer. And upon activating this pin, the data which is there in this tri-state buffer will be placed on the internal bus of 8051. So this is the architecture of the port 1. Now see the port 0 architecture. The port 0 architecture is somewhat similar to architecture of port 1 except this part. So we know port 0 is used for address data bus along with the IO bus. So according to that function, some extra circuits are added. Otherwise, the construction is same. So when control is 0, port act as a IO bus, and when control is 1, port act as a address of a data bus. So when you write logic 1 should be pin, Q is 1, Q bar is 0, and let's say control is 0. Okay. So when control is 0, so obviously the output of this AND will be 0, which will eventually switch off this FET. So this control pin is basically used as a selector to select between these two pins. So when this control is 0, obviously the gate of this FET is connected to Q bar. So when you apply logic 1, Q bar is 0 and both the transistors are off. But here what happens when both the transistors are off? This pin goes in float. It started floating, and that's why, since port 0 is not having an internal pull-up resistor, you need to connect external pull-up resistor of 10 kilo ohm to drive that pin. So when you connect external pull-up resistor, the output of this pin is 1 because of this VCC. So this is how all the pins are having their own pull-up 10k ohm pull-up resistors which are connected via VCC. What is how the read operation is taken place in port 0? So for read operation, you have to supply logic 1 to D pin accordingly. 1 and 0 is the output at Q and Q bar. The control is 0. Obviously, it is being used as the IO bus, so control is 0. So because of the 0, the output of this AND will be 0, and eventually it will switch off this FET. Again, because of this logic 1, Q bar is 0, it is connected to gate of second FET, so both the FET are off. So whatever data which is present on a port pin will be transmitted to this buffer, tri-state buffer, and from there it will be placed on the internal, and from there it will be placed on the internal bus of 8051. The next architecture is the architecture of the port 2. So again, the port 2 architecture is same as the port 0 because the port 2 is used as the IO port as well as the address bus. So there is a multiplexer and control signal is used to select any one of these two lines. So otherwise the structure of port 2 is same as the port 1 and port 0. In port 3 architecture, again the main components are same, but we know that in port 3 there is a spatial alternate function for each and every pin. Accordingly, there is a NAND gate is connected and which will drive this pin. I hope you understand the basic operation of port in 8051. If you really like the video, don't hesitate to like, subscribe and comment on this video.